Welcome everyone to this new episode of our iPad Only book video show where we talk about iPad Only and how to live only with your iPad. This is the premise of our book. We are both co-authors of the iPad Only book. My name is Michael Slewinski.
And I'm Augusto Pinat, and I'm excited to this video. We got an email, a kind email from somebody who we are going to call JM, so we don't use his name, but he was bringing some valid points to his struggle with iPad only. And he made 5 points that we are going to try to cover a little bit in this video. Again, some of them really valid, some of them, you know, a matter of approach maybe. But let's begin with them. And he said, I'm a touch typer and I have been for a number of years. However, my speed on the iPad native keyboard is not as great compared to my real keyboard. I struggle with that. And I struggle with that to the point that I was going to get rid of my iPad. And I cannot mention enough an application called Tap Typing, who it's really the Mavis beacon of the iPad. When you want to learn to type on a PC or in a Mac, people always tell you, oh, go and buy Mavis beacon. Well, I believe in the iPad, the solution is called Tap Typing. It's an application designed to teach you to type on the screen of the iPad. When I got that application for the first time, my speed on the iPad was simply awful, impossible to type. I always needed to carry a keyboard. That was annoying. I can now type. It was slower than that actually, but I can type now, almost in the iPad mini, almost 60, 70 words per minute. In the big iPad, I can go over 80 words per minute. Do I faster on the physical keyboard? Yes. Will probably always be faster in the physical keyboard? Maybe. But there is a moment after 65, 70 words per minute that even that I'm faster in the physical keyboard, the convenience of just having the iPad with me wins over. Because I can go now, grab my iPad mini, sit anywhere, really, and type there in the iPad mini fast enough that there is not a problem, and I can go and bring the big iPad and sit outside in the patio of my house and work just with that for hours. And I have no need for the keyboard in any way. So my advice in this particular case is learn to type in the screen. And yes, it will seem like you need to invest that time to learn, but all that time will pay back in an incredible savings for you on time. And it feels really good to see people, when people look you type on the iPad. It is funny, I more than once sitting in a Starbucks, like sitting in a Starbucks to write and I'm working and people look at me like, what is this guy doing to his iPad? And the reason is simple, I'm typing, but for people it's not used to see you typing fast. So people look at you like, what are you doing? And it's just a matter of what I have been able to accomplish typing speed while using just my iPad. So I hope that answered the first concern. Again, no, I don't believe the speed you are going to be faster on the screen than you're on a regular physical keyboard. But I believe you can go fast enough where the difference is not going to be that important.
Exactly. For me, for example, my normal speed, I am slower than you as a typist, and I type on the physical keyboard like 60, 70 words per minute. But on the iPad keyboard, on the glass keyboard, I already type around 50 something words per minute. So I'm already getting to my regular speed. And again, in my case, around 50 words per minute is already fast enough. It's already fast enough for what I'm doing. But what you're saying here is also what people are not even doing on regular PCs, is invest their time to actually learn to type fast. Because even on regular PCs, I see people typing like that. And if they think it's fast, and they think because they type for many years like that, they're faster, yes, but they're faster like 20 or 30 words per minute. But they could double the speed easily by just learning how to type. So even though, I mean, people should invest in learning how to type on both of the machines. So if you have an iPad, really it's investment. Get the tap typing app and just do it. So the second concern about from this person was that if he ought to bring a physical keyboard, like I sometimes do, he should the ultra thin keyboard from Logitech is bulky. So if you take the iPad with this, it's the same size as a regular laptop. Let me show this to you. So this is the laptop. This is the laptop kind of thing. So this is the iPad with the keyboard. Yes, it's a little bit more bulky with the keyboard, but then my question is, on a regular laptop, can you do this? Make the iPad vertical. So this is the thing which I really love about typing. If I'm typing for a long period of time, when I was typing my book, I put my iPad in a vertical position, and it was fantastic. It was just great, and I could see the screen like a sheet of paper. I was focused to write, and I could type on the ultra thin keyboard. But then again, as we both discovered with Augusto, right now increasingly I'm not using the ultra thin keyboard. I'm using it only really when I need to type for a longer period of time. But if I respond to email, if I do browsing, if I do my regular work on the iPad, I no longer take the keyboard with me. I just take the iPad and type on the screen because, again, I'm fast enough, and it's so much fun to just use the iPad, and so much convenience to use the iPad. So this is the...
And I want to keep that part of the answer because his third concern is the battery life. And he said, well, on the new MacBook Airs, the battery life is almost as good as the iPad. That is true. But there is a lot of advantages. The iPad, regardless of the model you pick, continuing lighter. You have 3G included on the iPads. That even, he agreed on the email, that will kill that. But he brings and said the MacBook Air also benefits from open the lid and just get to it. That it's a matter of perspective, I understand. But for me, it's exactly not an advantage. I have learned, as well as I've learned, you have learned, and as well as many people who's joined the iPad only revolution, that the iPad and the keyboard is optional. We don't need the keyboard, really, to do our jobs. Computing companies have been trained us, okay, in the same way Pavlov trained the dog to come for the ball when the bell sounds, that in order to work in a computer, you need this. And the reality is, no, we don't need the keyboard. You can do your work, most of your work, without the keyboard all day. The only moment I work really on that keyboard is when I'm going to type 2 or more hours. Even if I don't have it, if I just have 45 minutes to work right now on a book, I don't care about the keyboard. 45 minutes is not enough for me to bring a physical keyboard. So that work and have the lid, it's not an advantage. It's our comfort zone.
Exactly.
And we need to be careful what is the comfort zone and what is what we know and what is really what makes us more effective. And it may be that in some cases is the lid, but in many cases, the only reason we go and the first accessory people buy from their iPad is a keyboard is not because it's convenient. It's just because it's what we know.
Exactly.
And we need to be really careful with that, I believe.
Yeah, and the thing is that, people start complaining, but again, comparing the iPad and the laptop. iPad is not a laptop. iPad is not a PC. It's a different computing machine. And the thing is, on the iPad, you can pick it up. You can use it horizontally, vertically. You can use it in a different way. You have the apps. You have the appification. So you have, instead of going to websites, you usually go to the apps to get stuff done. So there's the whole paradigm shift, which you don't have on a regular laptop. You just don't. And that's why we wrote the book. We didn't write the book to convince you that the iPad can be as powerful as a laptop. No, we tried to convince you that you can get a lot more done if you configure your iPad, if you use your iPad, because it's a different computing device from a laptop. And this is the biggest, thing. Like just the other day, I was on a podcast, and the guy complained that he took the iPad with him for a 4-day trip, and he started complaining and cursing that he couldn't do the same thing as on a laptop. Of course, because he wasn't used to setting up his iPad for his work. And then he wanted his iPad instantly to do the same thing as the laptop does. No, it's a different computing machine. But what we're trying to convince with our book is that if you tame it, if you learn how to use it, if you take advantage of its great features and the form size and everything else, you will prefer to get stuff done and you will be more productive on the iPad than on a regular laptop with a keyboard and a lid and all this stuff.
And you make an interesting point because that's a common complaint on the iPad only. Well, with my laptop do this, and I wonder if people get a new laptop and just go put it in the bag and leave. And the reality is not. When you get a new laptop, you spend certain amount of time getting everything ready and everything set up. If you want to be iPad only, you need to spend that certain amount of time to do it. It's just not grab it from the box from the store and go. It's the same thing. If you replace your laptop tomorrow, you will need to spend a certain amount of time making sure that laptop has everything. It works the same way with the iPad.
Actually, I
But
got
let's go back.
just
Yeah,
give me a
sorry.
second. I just got another question from in one of the podcasts that I was a guest. That how much time do you need to be iPad to start being really feeling benefits of the iPad only? And my answer was that I felt the benefits right away, but I was really productive on the iPad. It took me like around 3 months to really get up to speed and really do everything on the iPad and prefer the iPad over the traditional machine. So it took me quite a while. But because we wrote the book, we expect you to be up to speed in a lot less time. This is why we wrote the book.
Yeah, we actually had been getting feedback from people who were playing with us as we were writing the book, as well as people who has read the book now in less than a week, who are being able to go in less than a week iPad only.
You
It's
see?
really a matter of how serious are you going to take the process and how much time are you willing to spend figuring out exactly what you need to work. And you will discover more things over time, but for most people, it's less than a week.
Yeah, thanks to our book. Thank you very much. Yeah, so let's come back to the questions. And one of the concerns was that carrying the iPad still meant I had to take a bag, especially if I wanted to take a decent headphones too. If I'm carrying a bag, then I might still fill it up with other stuff. Maybe I need to find the perfect bag that just takes on an iPad. This is exactly my point. And let me disappear for a second. So when I switched to the iPad, my favorite bag became this one. This is my iPad bag. It fits perfectly in my big iPad, big Retina iPad. And this bag is really not big. It's compared to my head, this is the bag. So it's really a small bag that I can take with me. And it just fits the iPad. And with the iPad, because of the big battery life and everything else, you just don't need anything else. You just take the iPad with yourself and that's it. I take the stylus with me sometimes because I want to draw or something. But other than that, this is all I take. And I have here my documents and everything else. So in this small bag, I have my iPad, and this is my entire home office. So if you think about it, this is my office. If you are like Augusto, who prefers the Mini, then you can go on with this kind of bag. Uh, like, you know. And in this small bag, the iPad Mini fits perfectly with the documents and everything else. And again, it's a very, very small bag. So these bags don't even compare to any laptop bag. Because with a laptop bag, you take the chargers with you, you take all the other stuff. Okay, the MacBook Air has big battery life, so you don't need the chargers for now, but you take everything else because it's a laptop. So it doesn't compare. In my
Yeah,
experience, I like the small bags with me, and I think it's great.
I same thing with me. I have a small bag that fits basically the iPad. It has a space to put both headphones if I want to carry them. But if I put the both, basically nothing else will fit. And but it is also a matter of finding a small bag, and it was a challenge for me when I got the iPad to find the right bag that fits basically the iPad and don't give me space to fill it up with junk. Because the problem is, if you give me a bag and give me space, somehow the junk finds its way to my bag. So I need to be really careful. And I understand that point. And yes, it may be a matter of find the perfect bag, as this person said. But in my experience, the perfect bag is figure out the iPad and figure it out before you look for that bag. What are the stuff you want to carry? The minimum stuff you will carry every day, that in my particular case is just my iPad mini, and the maximum stuff you wish to carry. Okay? And figure that out. In my particular case, the minimum stuff I want to carry again is my iPad mini. Okay, and the most I want to carry is the iPad mini and the Bose headphones. And even now that Apple has improved, and I understand this doesn't work for everybody, but the Apple Pod headphones now are so good that it's true. I don't get noise canceling with them as I get with the Bose. But unless I'm traveling, the Bose now are staying at home. I don't carry them. These headphones are loud enough that, well, the space is loud. I can just be louder as everybody around me. So I don't care that much about it. But if you care about the noise canceling because you want to have white noise or something else that really will not compete with the noise outside, I will just find a bag to basically fit your iPad and something like that. And as small as you can. My advice is travel, go to the store with just those four things and make sure that's what it fits. And that's all. That's how I went and buy my last bag. I took the three things I want to carry with me. And that was the only thing I took to the store until I found the bag. And I'm really, really happy with mine.
Yeah, the thing is, the takeaway from here is that also in our book we talk about the essential iPad gear and the iPad gear in such that we take everywhere when we travel for a longer period of time. So you can find more information about the gear on in our book. And really, the thing is, the iPad only movement, the iPad only book, is about changing totally a computer machine from a laptop or from a PC, from a traditional desktop computer to an iPad. And it's a totally different beast. It's a totally different machine. But the point we're trying to make is you can be more productive on it, you'll have more fun with it, and it's going to be just great. It's been our experience like that, and we're not trying to overhype it. We just love it, and we want to share it with you. This is why more information you will find in our iPad only book. So make sure to check it out. It's available on Amazon, on iBooks, and on Barnes & Noble and everywhere else. So thank you very much. This was Michael Slewinski.
And I'm Augusto Pinat. Thank you.